You have an agenda for that?
Recording has started. Everyone let everyone know that they're being recorded, and the privacy policy. Yes, we have a privacy policy and we do are recording this. So my question is there anybody out in Never Never Land, TV land? How do you know whether someone wants to come in or they just automatically come in?
I think they just automatically hit that button and join.
You'll see their initials soon.
Really? Oh, okay. All right. All right. That sounds swell. Well, hi, everybody. My name's Ken O'Brien. I'm currently the chairman of the Board of Assessors. And present, we have
Kevin Rudden, board member.
Kevin Rudden, board member, and of course, our ace principal assessor, Gene Berthold. Yes. Okay. And so we're going to make this not quick, but efficient. So we have here the agenda call to order, reorganize the board.
So here's my question. Can you reorganize the board without the third member?
Yes.
So
Because you have a majority here.
why don't you do that?
Okay, let's reorganize the board. Do I have any nominations for chair?
Can't nominate myself.
Oh, you think I could nominate myself?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, it's tradition that the person who is in his last year of term become the chairman of the board. That happens to be me, for whatever that's worth.
Oh, sure. Then why don't I step down from chair and make the nomination for you to take over the chair as chair? Because I'd hate you to take over the chair as a bench.
Okay,
So I nominate Kevin Rudden to be the chair.
I will second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Rudden, you are now the chair. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate myself as the clerk of the works here at the Board of Assessors.
I will second that. All in favor of Ken O'Brien being the clerk? Say
Aye.
aye. That was an aye from Ken and an aye from Kevin. So I am the chair and Mr. O'Brien is the secretary. Next.
No, clerk.
I'm kind of clerk. The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We do not have minutes to approve because we're lacking our third member.
The minutes are there. It's just that you can't.
We
vote.
can't
can't
vote on them because we only have one member that was there present. We now ask Ms. Berthold to give us an update on cyclical inspections.
So phase one is complete.
What is phase one?
Well, there was 450 single family homes done. All over various, colonial states.
Yeah, all over.
Kingville, and it all went well. That's all that work's been completed, right down to the pictures being input in the whole bit, so.
And they're all been updated, keyed
Everything's
in?
been updated and keyed in.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So we're, next year, I'm assuming from Paul, we'll probably start around the same time and do phase two, which will be another 450 homes.
Okay.
And anything where I felt was new growth, I did capture that.
Okay. Which is the LA 13.
Yeah.
Okay, just a point of conversation. I'm sure Mr. O'Brien knows this. There is a new state spreadsheet this year for new growth that no longer calculates the categories over in the right-hand corner. You just list them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we will be probably doing that sometime. I did already contact Paul about formulating all of that. Of course, he has several other communities and he always wants to get this, semi-annual ones done first.
Oh, the numbers you mean? Yeah, okay.
So
The ones that only do.
he's
2,000
looking at the beginning of October as we did last year,
Okay.
amended. I mean, we're ready. We've been ready for 2 weeks, but because of the line we're in with the other communities, it won't be till.
Right, we also have to
Beginning
wait
to
until the
mid-October.
special town meeting is over.
No, well, we had new growth
No,
before that.
that's
Well,
all.
new growth, the sales, all that, so.
So that'll be all done prior to, but
Right.
not till October.
Yeah,
Like I
we
said,
just have to
we're
wait
in
for
line.
the recap sheet.
We're in line with all of the other
Okay.
communities.
Me too. I start tomorrow.
You start tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh, good for you. See, Paul's got it, like, I said, concentrate on his other
Okay,
communities.
Mr. O'Brien, any questions for Gene?
No, I don't know. I don't have any at this time.
Okay, next item on the agenda is discuss any new business. Do you have any new business, Mr. O'Brien?
Well, actually, I do. Did y'all get a chance to read the DLS bulletin today in reference to the Supreme Court decision up in Minnesota? And it has to do with tax title foreclosures.
Yeah,
That when you go through the process for tax title foreclosure, you are only eligible to keep the amount of money that was owed on the tax title. You cannot keep the whole value of the property.
which is what the majority of cities and towns in Massachusetts do not do that. There's also a bill pending in the legislature.
They do not what?
Do not keep the full amount.
Oh, well, the majority. We need to make it.
The
we need to make
majority,
everyone-
there's also a bill pending in the legislature this year to make that a law, but if I read the law opinion correctly, the DOR is saying basically until the court makes up more rules, you can keep the money.
Well, no, they're not saying keep it. They keep it in an agency fund.
Yes, so keep it.
Well, is
Separate.
that treasurer collector business?
Yes.
It is, but just FYI,
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
just an FYI thing.
Right, and the issue of people, not that we have anybody on the call, but the issue is if you do a tax title foreclosure, that is you go through the court process of taking somebody's house because they owe back taxes. And you sell the house, the town sells the house. If they owe 15 grand and the house fetches 400 on the open market, theoretically, the former owner should get everything but the 15.
Right.
However, in some parts of the country,
They lose out on
the
everything.
cities and towns were seizing it all.
Well, normally there's a bank involved too. When people aren't paying
Yes.
their taxes, they usually have pretty.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
we just in general.
Yeah.
But you know what really, I talked to our treasurer collector for a minute today, and the issue that came up afterwards is, how is that going to affect tax lien sales? Tax lien sales are a big to-do.
Yes, but that is a treasure issue.
I know,
Yes.
but I'm just throwing it out there,
Right.
Okay,
That's good. I have enough things in here to worry about.
Okay,
okay. Although it was a interesting thing to see the DOR actually take a stand in writing,
yes,
Mhm.
yes,
probably because that bill is pending.
yeah.
Um,
And Ken Woodland from DOR Law, right,
Yeah.
he's a good guy. He's,
yeah, actually, I've had some personal conversations with him. He not only is a good guy, but he actually apologized to me that the law prevented him from letting me do an 8 of 58 abatement on somebody who he and I both believe deserved it, but the law said they could get it. So I appreciated hearing someone's opinion on that.
mm,
Next item on the agenda is discuss senior means tested exemption, which tonight after our meeting, we will be going to the select board meeting. And we are on the agenda for them as part of the means tested senior citizen property tax exemption that town meeting passed 2 years ago, then went through the legislature, was signed into law, and this is our first year. We have 17 people who applied and qualified. The total amount of money at 100% they would be eligible for is $17,932. And the select board by the law picks a percentage of that from 50% to 200%. 50% would be $8,966 that would be awarded as exemptions based on the amount of the circuit breaker credit they got from the state. 200% would be $35,864. And the way the law works, that money is then spread across all the residential property owners in the town, including those 17 people. So it is up to the select board to pick anywhere from 50 to 200%. that they wish to award.
Hmm.
And just for point of reference, this is being taped. At 50%, the average single-family home would pay an additional $4.55 a year to give the exemptions to those 17 people. At 100%, it would be $9.09 a year, and at 200%, it would be $18.19 a year average.
Hmm.
That again, it would depend on each person's final value of their home, etc. But that is the way that law works.
Okay, and everybody who gets it is had criteria to meet.
The criteria is they had to meet the state's Schedule CB income tax circuit breaker in their state income tax for the year 2022. They had to measure up to all the criteria in there, and they had to meet our criteria of length of time living in town and own their house. And an income limit based on the circuit breaker. I assume we only had 17 apply and they all qualified.
Correct. We had more interested, but it's surprising how many people don't file taxes and
CB.
didn't know that even though they're not.
I did receive a phone call at home from somebody who did not leave their name, and their number unfortunately was garbled, who complained, so I couldn't call them back. They complained that no one ever told them about the circuit breaker exemption.
Well,
But
again, that's up to their accountant.
it is a state tax thing and not within the purview of the
Right.
board.
So I would tell people, go back and talk to your accountants or wherever you do your tax.
Right,
And tell them you want to file at least for that circuit breaker.
I would also say that the Taxation Aid Committee, which sponsored that bill, article before a town meeting, will probably, let everybody know in January who is a senior that they should see if they
Yes,
should file that. We were
yes,
late this year because of when the previous governor signed the bill.
right.
So we could barely notify people,
Well,
but
we did, send out, we did have it in the circulation, the news circulation. Twice, plus I personally mailed out applications to everyone who already qualified for
correct.
the senior exemption.
I think though, the Taxation Aid Committee, of which I sit on, will be having a meeting in late
Good.
September, early October.
Good.
And I know we'll be discussing, the possibility of sending everybody over 65 a letter,
Good,
explaining how it works,
yes,
saying how it worked the first time, and saying, please, even if you don't pay taxes, fill out the Schedule CB, because what I'm told by the State Department of Revenue is if you don't make enough to file state income tax and fill out a Form CB and the state finds you eligible, they will mail you a check.
yes,
So you'll actually get money,
right.
and then you're eligible for this exemption. But I don't think it's bad. Personally, I don't think it's bad to get 17 people in the first year of something brand new. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Like I said, it would have been several more from my communications with people, because like I said, a lot of them just said, well, I don't file. Then I did have at least 2 or 3 who do file. I told them to go back and speak to their accountants, come to find out that their accountants missed that.
Yep.
So I said, so they told their accountants next year. I will
Right,
include
and
that.
if we tell people in early January, alert them to the fact, make sure you see if you qualify
That's right.
for Schedule CB, because that is the criteria to get this exemption.
Yeah, agreed.
And also, if
The-
any senior is getting an exemption now, they may still get that exemption.
Yes,
And this on top.
it is in addition to, absolutely.
Okay, and also just remember for everybody that, this is not a one and done. This is you fill out
Every
the
year,
forms
year.
every single.
just like every other exemption.
Correct.
The only difference
Timing
in
of
this,
this is
this is
different.
the first year. So in calendar year, this is 23, 24. in the annual town meeting of 25, we'll have to have an article on whether to continue this. And you do that every 3 years to let the people decide if they want to continue it or not have it.
I hope somebody's got a note on that.
I do.
Okay.
I ain't dead yet. The next item on our agenda is to attend the select board meeting. And I would suggest that we adjourn the meeting at whatever time it is now,
Turn on the computer.
5:47. So that
And
we
you'll be
will,
returning only to adjourn, yeah. Are you gonna adjourn now? Okay.
we're going to adjourn now, and the only, we will be attending the selectmen's meeting when it begins at
6:30.
6:30, and we will adjourn from the select board meeting and have no other business today.
Okay. I make that motion.
Okay, I will second. All in favor, Mr.
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Rudden, aye. The meeting is ended.
Okay, just double confirm.
Hang
It's-
on.